hopefully I'll live long enough to see the Patriots and the Bills this weekend because it's just a few days away. Round 3, how much does what we saw on the cold and windy night in Buffalo when they first got together and then just a few weeks later when they got together in New England? I mean, this is weird because you're getting round 3 not long after round 1. Forget about round 2.
Right.
Round 1 was just about a month ago.
Right.
So here's round 3. Boom, just like that. How much did the first 2 games in your mind affect what happens when they get together this weekend?
Oh, I think like emotionally, like psychologically, it's going to be real in the fact that, like, again, like you said, everything's so, it's still raw. It's personal. It is. Both of these teams are chippy, too. I think there's a real rivalry brewing here a little bit. There's no doubt. Hey, the first game is like, again, so I think that's where both games kind of matter in the rematch here, the third rematch. But I do look at it as the second game, I think, holds more water as far as what we could see on the field, Saturday night as compared to the first game, which was very weird, of course, with the cold and the crazy wind and everything there. Neither team, I think, played the style of football they necessarily want to play. The second game, I think you saw a little more true version of what we'll see Saturday night. I know it's going to be really cold. I know that. But so what? It's New England and Buffalo. They're not going to care about that. They're going to be able to still run everything they want. If it gets windy, then things might change. But I think the second matchup, Mike, holds a little more water than as far as what we're going to see or what to expect on Saturday night as compared to the first one.
My big recollection of the first matchup was they waited too damn long to unleash Josh Allen, to trust him to throw the ball through the wind. They played the game with the Patriots. They got lulled into the way the Patriots were doing it, and then by the time they woke up, it was too late. I think if the Bills had entrusted the offense to Josh Allen from get-go, as some would say, they would have won that game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't know if they would have won the game, but I do think it took them too far to realize, or too long to realize that, wait, our guy's throwing the ball through the wind fine. Like, oh, okay, we can do this. It didn't feel like it was till late in the second quarter, third quarter to finally where they kind of came to that realization. Now you get to the second game, and it was all that. It was unleash the Kraken. That's what it was. It was all just, let's put the ball into Big Blue's hands and let him make magic. And the Patriots ran every defense in the history of football to try to stop him, and they couldn't stop him. This is one of the great performances of the NFL season this year. We don't ever see people do this to the New England Patriots. Run around, making plays, making throws. That was the issue the first time around. The Patriots could not contain or stop Josh Allen. And again, that's what they're gonna have to have a different formula here as far as their approach too, because he's just too gifted, And I think there's some things they're gonna have to change on the defensive side as far as keeping him in the pocket. Few things they did in coverage that didn't make sense to me the first time around. It's gonna be a challenge because Buffalo's going down with their best punch. Yeah, they're going to run the ball a little bit with Singletary. But in a game like this, history has shown us so far that they usually go, we're giving the ball to Josh, and he's going to make plays, and he's going to carry us through this.
And he's going to run it.
Right.
You better be ready for Josh Allen to run it because we know when they get desperate, when they feel the heat, that's when they throw caution to the wind and they don't worry about him possibly getting injured running the football.
No doubt.
The concern I have about the Patriots that came from the loss to the Bills and the weekend before that, the loss to the Colts, is that even though Bill Belichick will design the game plan aimed at taking away what the opposing offense does best, he may not have the players to execute in a way that actually takes away what the opposing offense does best.
Yeah.
Whether it's Jonathan Taylor running roughshod over them or Josh Allen being Josh Allen, I feel like they can't implement that perfect game plan aimed at shutting down the best part of the opposing team's offensive unit.
I don't know if they're there yet either. I don't. You're right. That was something that jumped out to me after watching the second game back. Again, I do think there's some things that they did that make sense, and I would expect to see more of in this game. And that it kind of goes into what we talked about with the Steelers. You look at the Patriots and what they did the first game. They had a lot of success when they did the old, again, 2 guys blitz, 2 guys drop. We've kind of exposed your pass protection. Your back stayed into block, but we still got 7 guys back there to stop the pass. The one thing I know is when the Patriots played these deep zones and they tried to take away the big play downfield, Allen's gotten to a point in his career, you can't do that to him. You can't just think, oh, we're going to take away the big play, and he'll be impatient and do that. Allen will take the check downs and just go, okay, here's 5, here's 8, here's 5. Oh, let me scramble for 6 or 7. He'll do that. And he was a slow death that way. To me, the Patriots are going to have to challenge the Bills this time around. It's going to have to be a little bit more creativity with what they do up front, a little bit better plan of keeping him in the pocket. And I think they're another team. It's going to have to be a little bit more man-to-man. They're going to have to live with J.C. Jackson, on an island with Stephon Diggs, just to give them some extra pieces to, again, I think, contain Josh Allen. The biggest part of the game I took away just goes back to, man, in every big got-to-have-it moment, all right? And they won by 12 points. But every big moment, Allen got out of the pocket and made a play. And whether it was third down and a bunch of third down conversions, any big moment, and there was no answer from that with the Patriots. And that's, to your point, they're going to have to figure that out and what they want to do there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.